In the 8th year of accompanying Paul from obscurity to dazzling fame, his heart began to wander. One flirtatious actress after another appeared by his side, and the overlap between our lives grew smaller and smaller. Even his birthday wishes became perfunctory, official-sounding lines. I asked him, "Are we still getting married?" He always smiled it off. "Sis, wait a little longer." He said he was only 26, the age to fight for his career. But I couldn't wait anymore. After this year, I would be 35. My fans spoke up for me, scolding Paul for having no sense of responsibility and for wasting the best years of my life. His fans jumped into the fight too. Whose youth isn't youth? The day after everyone's speculation peaked, I arrived in Ireland. I posted a photo of registering my marriage with someone outside the entertainment industry. Stop guessing, we've parted on good terms. Please wish me well. That day, 3 trending topics broke the charts. Hashtag Victoria registers marriage with mysterious newcomer in Ireland. Hashtag marriages in Ireland can't be divorced. Hashtag top star Paul kneels, begging to be the other man. Chapter 1. When I got off Paul's bed, his phone rang. He was young, his stamina frighteningly good. When I finally caught my breath and looked at him again, the man unconsciously curled his lips at his phone. "What are you looking at?" I leaned over. "Nothing." He instinctively moved his phone away, but I still saw a familiar profile picture, a kitten resting on an apple. My expression froze for a moment. I knew this girl, Lily, a newcomer at his company. She was also the female lead of the drama he had just finished filming. On screen, they were inseparable, every kiss brimming with sexual tension. Off screen, their promotions were just as intense. All kinds of CP vibe videos had astonishing view counts. I didn't think much of it. For the sake of the show's success, it was normal. After all, I used to do the same. He seemed to be in a pretty good mood now. Half joking, I said, "Paul, my 35th birthday is in just over half a month." He was still replying to messages, answering absent-mindedly. What gift do you want?" He wasn't the same man anymore, just a 3-minute commercial earned him millions. Whatever I wanted could basically arrive the next day. But the corners of my lips stiffened. He seemed to have forgotten. He once promised that before I turned 35, he would register our marriage. That was why I had waited until now. I tried to keep my tone light. "On your birthday, let's go register our marriage." He lifted his thin eyelids and glanced at me. "Sis, I'm still young." I wanted to say more. "Be good, okay?" He brushed a perfunctory kiss onto my forehead and went to the bathroom to shower. The person on the other end of his phone kept sending messages. He picked up the phone and took it into the bathroom. I leaned against the headboard and scrolled on my phone. On Weibo's recommended page was a promotional photo of him kissing the newcomer. Annoyed, I tossed the phone aside and pulled the blanket over my head. Paul rarely stayed overnight at my apartment. Before leaving, I forced myself to be firm for once. "Paul, if we don't get married, I'll find someone else." He paused. My heart trembled. I thought it worked. The man only tilted his head slightly and smiled. "You wouldn't bear to, Victoria." Chapter 2. There was no message from him on my phone. After he left that night, we fell into a cold war. Actually, this wasn't the first time we argued about marriage, but it was the first time I didn't want to be the one to reach out. I rubbed my temples and lay exhausted on the soft sofa, looking out the floor-to-ceiling window. The skyscrapers outside were covered with giant screens of Paul. They looped the luxury brand endorsements he had taken. He and the young girl were being hyped intensely. After the endorsement came the promotional video for their new drama. Chapter 3. I was in a terrible mood, so I went out to eat with a friend. Elise took a bite of meat and suddenly asked me, "What's going on between you two?" She handed me her phone. Paparazzi had caught him privately going to that young girl's house. I heard it was to visit Lily's sick mother. Lily leaned into the man's arm. Her eyes curved in a smile. "Mom, this is my boyfriend." In the video, the woman lay in bed, looking at the two of them with increasing satisfaction. Everyone knew Paul was only cooperating to make Lily's mother happy, but the atmosphere was undeniably ambiguous. One perfect photo after another shot up the trending lists. A man who never did housework at home let the young girl roll up his sleeves. Her fair, delicate hands moved along his firm arm. One cooked while the other laughed. I had once seen a video analyzing why Paul and I didn't seem to have strong couple vibes. It said my features looked more aggressive, while Lily's round features complemented Paul's wildness. I couldn't blame the netizens or the gossip accounts. I had watched fan edits of their ship myself. They really did look well matched. At the same time, I knew very well the situation had gone beyond drama promotion. Paul's heart had wandered. Seeing me silent, she said, "There's no need to torture yourself." She wanted to force me to make a decision soon. Dragging this on wasn't a solution. And what about you? I knew Leo's ex-girlfriend had come back. Now it was her turn to fall silent. Before Elise left, she suddenly said, "Victoria, I don't like him, so I don't care. I'm just afraid you're falling too deep." Elise wasn't wrong. These past years, I had trusted Paul a little too much. Chapter 4. Before I even went to look for him, Paul's young girl came looking for me first. "Victoria, I always treated you as my idol. I didn't expect you to be so petty. Paul and I were clearly just working together. Why did you get my endorsement withdrawn? Are you afraid I'll become popular?" I frowned. I've been in this industry for many years. Naturally, I have some friends. Some are corporate executives. Some switched careers and became bosses. It just so happened that the brand Lily intended to collaborate with this time belonged to a friend of mine, who naturally stood on my side. So the young girl's new endorsement was withdrawn. It was given to a rival rising actress instead. Although it wasn't my instruction, my friend was standing up for me. I didn't deny it. The young girl's face in front of me was full of youthful collagen. She was much younger than me. Vitality, youth, things I no longer possessed. In the mirror, faint lines had already appeared at the corners of my eyes. Logically speaking, actresses my age are meticulous about maintenance. At 35, they look like they're in their 20s. But when I was young, I pushed myself too hard to pave the way for Paul. Working non-stop for days was normal. My body had long been worn down. So in recent years, I stepped behind the scenes, nurturing newcomers. That was also why my interactions with Paul grew fewer and fewer. I glanced at her and said lightly, "So?" I tossed the tablet in front of her. On it were intimate photos of her and Paul, and a few shots of them entering and leaving a hotel together. The director had clarified this matter. They were reading the script late into the night. Chapter 5. She was silent for a while. Then she suddenly curved her lips and said softly, "So you knew. I thought you were going to keep pretending to be clueless." I frowned. I didn't understand what she meant. She suddenly raised her hand and slapped herself across the face. My wrist was grabbed and I was shoved away hard. I staggered backward. My calf hit the corner of the table, and the pain made me gasp. The man who hadn't shown up for 2 weeks appeared. "Victoria, that's enough." I let out a cold laugh. I lifted my chin slightly. There was a small surveillance camera at the top of the office wall, connected to my display screen. The scene from just now replayed. Lily panicked, but he seemed not to see it. Clicking his tongue lightly, "Why are you arguing with a young girl? Don't you know how old you are?" Those words felt like a spell, freezing me in place. In the entertainment industry, the second greatest fear of celebrities is age. That youthful face couldn't hide her emotions. Seeing Paul defend her without limits, the provocation in her eyes was undisguised. A crisp smack rang out. The office fell silent for a second. My slap landed on Paul's face. The man turned his head, the strands of hair on his forehead falling to cover part of his brows. "This one," I said calmly, "is the slap I gave." Chapter 6. 2 cold wars within 1 month. His biggest fan accounts seemed to know we had argued. "Paul hasn't broken up with you yet because he wants you to do it first. That way you both save face." Ever since we officially announced our relationship, they had been recording when we would break up. Year after year they predicted it. Year after year they were wrong. Actually, it was always more or less the same. Nothing new. Just 3 points. I was getting old and past my prime. Normally, I wouldn't even bother responding. But this time, I suddenly felt tired. Paul said I wouldn't be able to let go. Actually, that's not true. I'm not someone deeply sentimental. I'm just stubborn. Once I decide something, I won't turn back even if I hit a wall. That isn't a good habit. I want to change it. Starting with Paul. 8 years of a relationship, consider it thrown away. Sunk costs shouldn't factor into major decisions. This time, I wanted to reply to her. I thought it. And I did it. Don't worry, it should be soon. After sending that message, I went to sleep. Before I even slept deeply, my manager Susanna woke me with a series of frantic calls. Chapter 7. Weibo exploded. When my manager Susanna found me, I realized I had forgotten to switch to my private account. My notifications were flooded instantly. That day, my post gained millions of new views. Some netizens had watched our relationship from the start. Please don't. I'm past the age of wanting to see you break up. Isn't it normal for couples to argue? They definitely haven't split. So all these years, it wasn't just me who noticed the cracks in our relationship. Netizens had noticed too. The comment section was in chaos. All it would take was a little interaction, a photo together, or giving each other a gift. A knock sounded at the door. Miss Victoria? Outside, the courier carefully handed over a low-luxury gift box. I took it and opened it. It was a necklace of excellent quality. The dark green gemstone stood out against my pale neck, but it didn't overpower me. That night, I took a photo wearing the necklace. I finally relaxed a little. He lowered his head once, so I lowered mine once too. Chapter 8. When I went to Paul's company, he wasn't there. His brothers were already used to it and tried to persuade me. Victoria, it's normal for guys his age to like having fun, especially in our circle. He'll definitely get married. But Paul is in a rising phase of his career right now. It wouldn't be good for him. Yeah, Victoria. We also think you're pushing him a bit too hard. It makes Paul look like your son. I froze for a moment. Then I snapped back. Why shouldn't I push him? All these years, without me, Paul wouldn't be where he is today. Provoked like that, I sat in his studio and called him. The first time, he didn't answer. I called again. The call was rejected. A surge of anger built up in my chest with nowhere to go. Give me the phone. Several people hesitated, wanting to speak but stopping themselves. Everyone could see I was already furious. Only one person handed it to me. It rang for a long time. The moment it connected, I spoke. Paul, I'm waiting for you at the Civil Affairs Bureau. After work today. I won't wait for you anymore. I said it all in one breath. Before making this call, I had already imagined Paul's reaction, brushing it off, or buying me a few bags to coax me. I imagined many possibilities. The only thing I never expected was what happened now. Chapter 9. A light laugh suddenly came from the other end. Victoria? It's Lily. My mind went blank for a moment. Miss, it's your turn. The registrar called me. Victoria, you went to the Civil Affairs Bureau? So urgent? But Paul is cooking for me right now. He probably can't make it back. Victoria, why don't you wait a little longer? I care about saving face. And now, the part of me desperate to get married was completely exposed in front of a girl so much younger than me. And in this subtle relationship of rivals, in that instant, embarrassment and humiliation crawled across my face. Put Paul on the phone. I only repeated that sentence, as if it made me sound firmer, stronger. The phone was finally handed over. The man's voice was low and hoarse. What is it? Come back. Let's get married. Don't force me. I've been busy lately. Paul's voice was a little hoarse, but I was busy too. It wasn't like he was the only one with work. Then I'll keep waiting. Sure. So he really didn't come. I sat alone on the bench outside. From morning until night. No, actually. He did come. He just didn't show himself. A dating app on my phone showed the distance between us was less than 200 meters. He was somewhere nearby, watching me. The Civil Affairs Bureau closed. My eyelids felt heavy. I was exhausted. I stood up and left. Paparazzi swarmed around me. The sound of shutters clicking never stopped. Chapter 10. That day, my lonely figure sitting outside the Civil Affairs Bureau trended. Victoria desperate to marry. Victoria and Paul break up because of newcomer. Netizens commented, damn. Victoria looks kind of pitiful. Someone refuted. What's pitiful? She earns more money than you. I'm just speaking objectively, okay? Lily's fans even came to my post and spammed their ship photos. Some rational passers-by couldn't stand it. That's enough. Showing off in front of the real girlfriend. Does your idol want to be the other woman? Fans from both sides began fighting. My fans, Victoria stayed with him for so many years. Shouldn't he at least clarify the rumors now? Breaking up is good. Our queen shines on her own. Trash men stay away. His fans, stop the moral kidnapping. Isn't our idol's youth also youth? LOL. Was your idol innocent in the early days? Netizens were guessing we had already broken up. The posts were heated, the buzz rising higher and higher. A passerby commented, "Stop guessing, just see if Victoria posts a birthday message on time this year." The likes skyrocketed. Yes, in the 8 years we were together, I never once missed his birthday, and I always posted exactly at midnight. Coincidentally, tomorrow is Paul's birthday. After all this chaos, he still hadn't shown up. We're adults. Not responding is actually the best response. He thought I was using this to force him to marry me. I know him, he hates being forced. When he first debuted, his temper nearly ruined his chances. Recently, I even heard the young girl made her assistant kneel to put her shoes on, which also trended. I tilted my head and suddenly laughed. How could I not understand now? Today's entire setup. He was using my trending topic to suppress the young girl's trending topic. Chapter 11. If I were 17 or 18 now, I would have been at a loss. I would have begged him to post a statement to clarify things. Not to leave me embarrassed alone. But I'm almost 35. When I do things, I prepare backup plans. A message came from him. Do you like the necklace? No, the heir of a family conglomerate. No one knows that we actually dated for a while. The night wind had a calming effect. It slowly smoothed away the obsessions I had carried for years. I cupped my hands and breathed into them before replying. I like it very much. Send someone to pick me up tonight. Looking at the number I had long memorized, I pressed the call button. This time, unusually, he answered quickly. He didn't speak, waiting for my reaction. I spoke as if finally relieved. Paul, I won't force you anymore. There was silence on the other end for a while. Only the faint sound of breathing. Let's break up. After saying that, I turned off my phone. I stepped into the helicopter prepared especially for me and flew to Ireland. To meet him, then get married. The helicopter cut through the night sky. I closed my eyes to rest. I remembered many years ago, the first time Paul and I met. He didn't call me sis. He called me Victoria. His pitch-black eyes fixed on me. The dare in a game was to be paired with someone of the opposite sex. He pointed at me. Our friends cheered. A younger man not calling you sis meant his intentions were a little wild. We were in the same circle, so we naturally ended up together. What truly made me decide to break up was a call from my grandmother. When she saw the intimate photos of Paul and Lily, she anxiously asked me, Victoria, have you broken up with Paul? Her greatest wish in this life was for me to find someone to marry. She always said, a girl who is too strong makes men lose face. That was why I tolerated Paul's scandals again and again all these years. I thought the old lady would try to persuade me again. But this time, she unexpectedly sighed. Victoria, I think Grandma was wrong. If you're not happy, there's no need to stay together. My voice choked. Okay, thank you, Grandma. Paul, you have your career, and I have mine. If you can't do it, then I'll change the person. The plane landed smoothly. I fell into a warm, dry embrace. Chapter 12. The clock quietly passed midnight. Tens of thousands of people were waiting for my perfectly timed birthday post. Some even started live streams, waiting together for my Weibo update. But my account remained completely silent. At that moment, it was 4 p.m. in Ireland. The weather was beautiful. A gentle breeze, bright skies. Noah and I were lining up at the Civil Affairs Bureau, completely unaware of everything. Come on. 3, 2, 1, smile. Click. The photo was taken. The staff member stamping our documents was a Chinese girl. She froze when she saw me, excitement about to burst out. I smiled and placed a finger to my lips, shaking my head. Keep it a secret. She first shook her head, then nodded quickly. Her hands trembled with excitement. Chapter 13. The online buzz kept growing. Victoria might be jet-lagged. I think someone saw her at the airport in Ireland. That can't be right. Isn't her latest movie filming in China? Some fans guessed. I think Victoria wants to post at a special time, maybe 13-14. The netizens grew even more excited. But until Paul's birthday passed, my Weibo remained silent. The final whispers online became speculation. She won't suddenly post wedding photos, right? Wait. My friend said they saw Victoria at a civil affairs bureau in Ireland. Tisk. I knew these two were secretly doing something big. Wait. Ireland? Really Ireland? What about Ireland? If you register marriage in Ireland, you can't divorce for life. They must have secretly registered. Chapter 14. I hurried back to China and immediately started filming. My manager Susanna asked, "Do you want to respond?" She meant my relationship with Paul. I paused. Before I could decide what to say, the director shouted, "Victoria." Next scene. I turned back quickly and smiled. Let me finish filming first. I hadn't seriously filmed in 2 years. This project was crucial for me. It meant my comeback. I had prepared for a long time. So during that month, I barely left the set. My schedule flipped day and night. Naturally, I knew nothing about the storm outside. Chapter 15. When I logged onto Weibo again, a month had passed. My phone lagged badly. Strange, I had just changed it recently. After a moment of buffering, I realized my notifications had exploded. When everyone thought my account would stay silent, someone noticed I was online. Netizens, see? She just forgot because she was busy. Anyone betting she'll post wedding photos? Some even started betting in my comments. But the system quickly deleted them. Gambling isn't allowed. I quickly logged in and edited a post. Attached photo. My wedding picture with Noah. Stop guessing. We've parted on good terms. Please wish me well. Friends flooded the comments with congratulations. Suddenly, I remembered there were still some of my things in Paul's apartment. Not wanting to run into him, I texted Leo to test the waters. Is Paul still filming out of town? Chapter 16. Inside the private room, no one dared to speak. Just moments ago, Victoria updated her Weibo. Paul's brothers widened their eyes, as if they had seen something unbelievable. The woman who was forcing marriage just moments ago had registered marriage with someone else the next moment. It felt like a fake account, but the familiar profile picture, name, and verified badge all proved it. That person was Victoria. The atmosphere in the room was eerily silent. Leo read the text message word by word. "Hey, she's asking if you're still filming out of town?" The man absent-mindedly played with the lighter in his hand. He had been here all these days. On his birthday, Victoria hadn't sent him any message. Click. Reply to her, "I'm still filming out of town." After speaking, he picked up his coat from the sofa and left. Leo clicked his tongue. "You went too far. Serves you right." After saying that, he suddenly fell silent. Elise hadn't sent him any messages. The sentence took on a different meaning. No one knew whether he was talking about Paul or himself. The assistant sent the information he found. "Interesting. Bro, are you leaving too?" "Yeah, going to catch someone." Chapter 17. After packing up, I pulled my suitcase to the door. I was startled. Paul leaned quietly against the doorframe. I didn't know how long he had been watching me. Wasn't he filming out of town? I ignored him and tried to walk past. My wrist was suddenly grabbed. "Who is he?" He lowered his eyes and spoke calmly, his voice emotionless. I frowned. "Who do you mean?" He slowly opened Weibo, a paparazzi angle, at the Irish Civil Affairs Bureau. The woman laughed so hard she bent forward, her slender wrist resting on a neat suit. The man stood beside her, looking at her, the corner of his lips slightly curved, as if sensing something. In the second photo his gaze swept toward the camera, cold and warning. "So we were photographed that day. Noah had told me a joke then. What was it again?" The grip on my wrist tightened. I came back to my senses and said, "Oh, you mean him? He's my husband." Before I could finish, he grabbed my throat and pinned me against the door. "Say that again?" I couldn't breathe. Kisses rained down overwhelmingly. "Get off." I struggled to move away. He chased after me again, We've already broken up. Did I allow that? Paul, don't make me hate you. Hate me, you'd better hate me for the rest of your life. His cold fingers slipped into my clothes. In the chaos, a sudden ringtone rang out. It was Lily. Her voice trembled with fear. Paul, a stalker is following me. I'm scared. He threw the phone aside and stared at me. Victoria, if you say you don't want me to go, I'll stay. I sneered. What does that have to do with me? Fine. The door slammed. I let out a breath of relief. That madman. Chapter 18. I thought I wouldn't see Paul again. After all, we weren't on the same track anymore. But unfortunately, tonight was the director's birthday, and he was invited. Lily came too, after not seeing her for a month. She looked a little more worn out. When she saw me, she held Paul's arm even tighter. I could only nod. I didn't want to make things ugly, but she deliberately called me out. Victoria, may I ask? The director's eyes widened. Victoria, you got married? In an instant, everyone in the private room looked over. The director hadn't seen my post, but everyone else had, and nothing was more exciting than gossiping in person. I rubbed the back of my neck and smiled awkwardly. Yes, I'm married. The director hadn't checked Weibo recently. He thought it was Paul. He laughed and patted him. You too. Weibo has been going crazy these days. When's the wedding banquet? Paul sat there, rarely not denying anything, as if he had silently agreed. I shook my head calmly. We broke up. My husband is an outsider. Noah. The atmosphere turned awkward, but when they heard the name, they gathered around. Victoria. Is it that Noah from the famous conglomerate? I nodded. It wasn't strange they knew. Noah's family business extended into the entertainment industry. Lily didn't think so. She had never heard of any connection between Noah and me. She thought I was trying to save face, and trying to create rumors with the heir of the Noah family. Noah never said he got married. Everyone knew that when someone that powerful married, they would post about it. It was both sharing joy and respecting their partner. And I had a new movie coming out recently. Buzz was essential for every celebrity. In that instant, embarrassment and humiliation crawled across my face. Put Paul on the phone. I only repeated that sentence, as if it made me sound firmer, stronger. The phone was finally handed over. The man's voice was low and hoarse. What is it? Come back. Let's get married. Don't force me. I've been busy lately. Paul's voice was a little hoarse. But I was busy too. It wasn't like he was the only one with work. Then I'll keep waiting. Sure. So he really didn't come. I sat alone on the bench outside. From morning until night. No, actually. He did come. He just didn't show himself. A dating app on my phone showed the distance between us was less than 200 meters. He was somewhere nearby, watching me. The Civil Affairs Bureau closed. My eyelids felt heavy. I was exhausted. I stood up and left. Paparazzi swarmed around me. The sound of shutters clicking never stopped. Chapter 10. That day, my lonely figure sitting outside the Civil Affairs Bureau trended. Victoria desperate to marry. Victoria and Paul break up because of newcomer. Netizens commented, damn. Victoria looks kind of pitiful. Someone refuted. What's pitiful? She earns more money than you. I'm just speaking objectively, okay? Lily's fans even came to my post and spammed their ship photos. Some rational passers-by couldn't stand it. That's enough. Showing off in front of the real girlfriend. Does your idol want to be the other woman? Fans from both sides began fighting. My fans, Victoria stayed with him for so many years. Shouldn't he at least clarify the rumors now? Breaking up is good. Our queen shines on her own. Trash men stay away. His fans, stop the moral kidnapping. Isn't our idol's youth also youth? LOL. Was your idol innocent in the early days? Netizens were guessing we had already broken up. The posts were heated, the buzz rising higher and higher. A passerby commented, stop guessing, just see if Victoria posts a birthday message on time this year. The likes skyrocketed. Yes, in the 8 years we were together, I never once missed his birthday, and I always posted exactly at midnight. Coincidentally, tomorrow is Paul's birthday. After all this chaos, he still hadn't shown up. We're adults. Not responding is actually the best response. He thought I was using this to force him to marry me. I know him, he hates being forced. When he first debuted, his temper nearly ruined his chances. Recently, I even heard the young girl made her assistant kneel to put her shoes on, which also trended. I tilted my head and suddenly laughed. How could I not understand now? Today's entire setup. He was using my trending topic to suppress the young girl's trending topic. Chapter 11. If I were 17 or 18 now, I would have been at a loss. I would have begged him to post a statement to clarify things. Not to leave me embarrassed alone, but I'm almost 35 when I do things. I prepare backup plans. A message came from him. Do you like the necklace? No, the air of a family conglomerate. No one knows that we actually dated for a while. The night wind had a calming effect. It slowly smoothed away the obsessions I had carried for years. I cupped my hands and breathed into them before replying. I like it very much. Send someone to pick me up tonight. Looking at the number I had long memorized, I pressed the call button. This time, unusually, he answered quickly. He didn't speak, waiting for my reaction. I spoke as if finally relieved. Paul, I won't force you anymore. There was silence on the other end for a while, only the faint sound of breathing. Let's break up. After saying that, I turned off my phone. I stepped into the helicopter prepared especially for me and flew to Ireland. To meet him, then get married. The helicopter cut through the night sky. I closed my eyes to rest. I remembered many years ago, the first time Paul and I met. He didn't call me sis. He called me Victoria, his pitch-black eyes fixed on me. The dare in a game was to be paired with someone of the opposite sex. He pointed at me. Our friends cheered. A younger man not calling you sis meant his intentions were a little wild. We were in the same circle, so we naturally ended up together. What truly made me decide to break up was a call from my grandmother. When she saw the intimate photos of Paul and Lily, she anxiously asked me, Victoria, have you broken up with Paul? Her greatest wish in this life was for me to find someone to marry. She always said, a girl who is too strong makes men lose face. That was why I tolerated Paul's scandals again and again all these years. I thought the old lady would try to persuade me again, but this time, she unexpectedly sighed. Victoria, I think Grandma was wrong. If you're not happy, there's no need to stay together. My voice choked. Okay, thank you, Grandma. Paul, you have your career, and I have mine. If you can't do it, then I'll change the person. The plane landed smoothly. I fell into a warm, dry embrace. Chapter 12. The clock quietly passed midnight. Tens of thousands of people were waiting for my perfectly timed birthday post. Some even started live streams, waiting together for my Weibo update. But my account remained completely silent. At that moment, it was 4 p.m. in Ireland. The weather was beautiful. A gentle breeze, bright skies. Noah and I were lining up at the Civil Affairs Bureau, completely unaware of everything. Come on. 3, 2, 1, smile. Click. The photo was taken. The staff member stamping our documents was a Chinese girl. She froze when she saw me, excitement about to burst out. I smiled and placed a finger to my lips, shaking my head. Keep it a secret. She first shook her head, then nodded quickly. Her hands trembled with excitement. Chapter 13. The online buzz kept growing. Victoria might be jet-lagged. I think someone saw her at the airport in Ireland. That can't be right. Isn't her latest movie filming in China? Some fans guessed. I think Victoria wants to post at a special time, maybe 13-14. The netizens grew even more excited. But until Paul's birthday passed, my Weibo remained silent. The final whispers online became speculation. She won't suddenly post wedding photos, right? Wait. My friend said they saw Victoria at a Civil Affairs Bureau in Ireland. Tisk. I knew these two were secretly doing something big. Wait. Ireland? Really Ireland? What about Ireland? If you register marriage in Ireland, you can't divorce for life. They must have secretly registered. Chapter 14. I hurried back to China and immediately started filming. My manager Susanna asked, "Do you want to respond?" She meant my relationship with Paul. I paused. Before I could decide what to say, the director shouted, "Victoria, next scene." I turned back quickly and smiled. Let me finish filming first. I hadn't seriously filmed in 2 years. This project was crucial for me. It meant my comeback. I had prepared for a long time. So during that month, I barely left the set. My schedule flipped day and night. Naturally, I knew nothing about the storm outside. Chapter 15. When I logged onto Weibo again, a month had passed. My phone lagged badly. Strange, I had just changed it recently. After a moment of buffering, I realized my notifications had exploded. When everyone thought my account would stay silent, someone noticed I was online. Netizens, see? She just forgot because she was busy. Anyone betting she'll post wedding photos? Some even started betting in my comments. But the system quickly deleted them. Gambling isn't allowed. I quickly logged in and edited a post. Attached photo. My wedding picture with Noah. Stop guessing. We've parted on good terms. Please wish me well. Friends flooded the comments with congratulations. Suddenly, I remembered there were still some of my things in Paul's apartment. Not wanting to run into him, I texted Leo to test the waters. Is Paul still filming out of town? Chapter 16. Inside the private room, no one dared to speak. Just moments ago, Victoria updated her Weibo. Paul's brothers widened their eyes, as if they had seen something unbelievable. The woman who was forcing marriage just moments ago had registered marriage with someone else the next moment. It felt like a fake account, but the familiar profile picture, name, and verified badge all proved it. That person was Victoria. The atmosphere in the room was eerily silent. Leo read the text message word by word. Hey, she's asking if you're still filming out of town? The man absent-mindedly played with the lighter in his hand. He had been here all these days. On his birthday, Victoria hadn't sent him any message. Click. Reply to her, I'm still filming out of town. After speaking, he picked up his coat from the sofa and left. Leo clicked his tongue. You went too far. Serves you right. After saying that, he suddenly fell silent. Elise hadn't sent him any messages. The sentence took on a different meaning. No one knew whether he was talking about Paul or himself. The assistant sent the information he found. Interesting. Bro, are you leaving too? Yeah, going to catch someone. Chapter 17. After packing up, I pulled my suitcase to the door. I was startled. Paul leaned quietly against the doorframe. I didn't know how long he had been watching me. Wasn't he filming out of town? I ignored him and tried to walk past. My wrist was suddenly grabbed. Who is he? He lowered his eyes and spoke calmly, his voice emotionless. I frowned. Who do you mean? He slowly opened Weibo, a paparazzi angle, at the Irish Civil Affairs Bureau. The woman laughed so hard she bent forward, her slender wrist resting on a neat suit. The man stood beside her, looking at her, the corner of his lips slightly curved, as if sensing something. In the second photo his gaze swept toward the camera, cold and warning. So we were photographed that day. Noah had told me a joke then. What was it again? The grip on my wrist tightened. I came back to my senses and said, Oh, you mean him? He's my husband. Before I could finish, he grabbed my throat and pinned me against the door. Say that again? I couldn't breathe. Kisses rained down overwhelmingly. Get off. I struggled to move away. He chased after me again. We've already broken up. Did I allow that? Paul, don't make me hate you. Hate me. You'd better hate me for the rest of your life. His cold fingers slipped into my clothes. In the chaos, a sudden ringtone rang out. It was Lily. Her voice trembled with fear. Paul, a stalker is following me. I'm scared. He threw the phone aside and stared at me. Victoria, if you say you don't want me to go, I'll stay. I sneered. What does that have to do with me? Fine. The door slammed. I let out a breath of relief. That madman. Chapter 18. I thought I wouldn't see Paul again. After all, we weren't on the same track anymore. But unfortunately, tonight was the director's birthday, and he was invited. Lily came too, after not seeing her for a month. She looked a little more worn out. When she saw me, she held Paul's arm even tighter. I could only nod. I didn't want to make things ugly, but she deliberately called me out. Victoria, may I ask, The director's eyes widened. Victoria, you got married? In an instant, everyone in the private room looked over. The director hadn't seen my post, but everyone else had, and nothing was more exciting than gossiping in person. I rubbed the back of my neck and smiled awkwardly. Yes, I'm married. The director hadn't checked Weibo recently. He thought it was Paul. He laughed and patted him. You too. Weibo has been going crazy these days. When's the wedding banquet? Paul sat there, rarely not denying anything, as if he had silently agreed. I shook my head calmly. We broke up. My husband is an outsider. Noah. The atmosphere turned awkward, but when they heard the name, they gathered around. Victoria. Is it that Noah from the famous conglomerate? I nodded. It wasn't strange they knew. Noah's family business extended into the entertainment industry. Lily didn't think so. She had never heard of any connection between Noah and me. She thought I was trying to save face, and trying to create rumors they monitored tirelessly day and night. Finally, they caught Lily meeting Luis. After a series of operations, they released the video of their conversation in the cafe. She set a trap for me with Monica. Now this is her retribution. Lily didn't want to waste time talking. All right, from now on, let's not meet again. Hey, little beauty, I helped you get rid of Victoria. Just 100,000, that's not too much, right? Luis had already tasted the benefits. From now on, he could use this incident to keep threatening the girl for money. He could even have her support him. But Lily was not easy to deal with either. She knew her money was hard-earned. She refused immediately. The video of them arguing in the cafe was also recorded by passers-by and uploaded. Fans immediately took advantage of the momentum to analyze Lily and Paul's behind-the-scenes clips and videos from the theater. Their interactions looked like a couple deeply in love. I never expected that the ones who saved me from disaster this time were my fans. The situation reversed instantly. Lily and Paul were pushed onto the moral trial stage. Cheating, knowingly being the third party. Each one was an explosive trending headline. Fans from both sides fought fiercely. Chapter 26. All Things Grow was already preparing for release. After work, I thought of Monica's words. I called Noah. Come pick me up and take me home. Last time, after getting the marriage certificate with him in Ireland, I rushed back to the country. Immediately afterward, I started filming for a month. That night, we didn't even have time for anything to happen. After entering the house, I kicked off my high heels all the way and pulled at his tie, staring into his eyes. If I hadn't agreed to your condition back in high school, would you still have helped me? Noah turned his head and remained silent. Yes, that's the kind of person he is. I laughed softly and raised my head to kiss him, but he dodged. I slowly raised my eyes. The veins on the back of the hand holding my waist bulged. Victoria, if you regret it now, we can still stop. I don't want you to do this out of gratitude. Even after it already blew up on Weibo, he still kept this gentlemanly manner. Noah, are you even a man? The man's deep eyes darkened. Then came a fierce kiss. Victoria, it's too late to regret now. Moonlight outside the window shone onto the wall inside the room. Shadows rose and fell. An ambiguous sound startled the birds in the trees. By the latter half of the night, I had no strength left. After being helped to wash up, the phone rang. I was too sleepy and tossed the phone to Noah. Victoria, I regret it. There's nothing between Lily and me. You dumped her. Paul spoke without confidence. He didn't know what he was panicking about. Victoria had been with him for so many years. How could she fall in love with someone else so easily? Noah looked at the person who had fallen asleep and chuckled softly. Paul frowned. Victoria? The man curled his lips. She's a bit tired and has fallen asleep. Whatever it is, wait until she wakes up. Those thick black eyelashes trembled slightly. He moved faster than his thoughts. The call had already been hung up. It was 3 in the morning. The meaning of those words was self-evident. When I woke up, my waist still ached terribly. Did Noah lie about his age? Aren't men only supposed to chat after 25? Chapter 27. These days I had been busy running around, and I had just reached the underground parking garage to wait for Noah. A dark figure suddenly rushed out from the shadows and hugged me tightly. The memory of being stalked by obsessive fans resurfaced. I hit him desperately with my bag. But the force locking me in place did not lessen at all. Hot tears burned against my collarbone. It was Paul. I truly didn't understand. He was clearly the one who didn't want to get married. Now that I had found someone else, shouldn't he be happy? Why was he clinging to me now? Paul cried. I never said I didn't want to marry you. Why can't you wait a little longer? Wait? I suddenly laughed in anger. How long was I supposed to wait for him? Wait until I grow old and lose my beauty? Until I'm 70 or 80 with no other choice? I took a deep breath. Let go. He suddenly knelt down. He crawled on his knees to me. He forcibly pulled my hand and pressed it against his face. When you have time, just spare a little to come keep me company. My friend is the third party too. And he doesn't mind. I don't mind. But I mind. A clear and low male voice approached from behind. Noah pulled Paul away and draped a coat over me. Don't let the wind give you a headache again. If you still have any dignity, then please. When he turned back, the eyes that always smiled turned cold. His tone grew colder word by word. Stop bothering my wife. Immediately afterward, countless camera shutters clicked. But as a top star, Paul didn't seem to care. Without waiting until the next day, it shot straight to the top of the trending list that very night. It was arranged by Noah. He wanted Paul to feel what it was like to be publicly mocked. Chapter 28. Paul retired from the entertainment industry. It was said that because he exposed his friend for being someone's third party, he also trended for several days. As a result, the woman involved came to confront him, forcing the rich woman to cut off contact with him. His resources were gone. People in the industry no longer dared to get too close to him either. Who knew if he might expose you next? But he didn't seem to care much. The worst situation was Lily's. She guided fans to slander and cyberbully me. Those posts were extremely suggestive and aggressive. The repost count nearly reached 10 million. The account owner would face 1 month of imprisonment. But the worst part was that the account owner was a student retaking the college entrance exam this year. There was less than a month before the exam. Lily was very clever. From beginning to end, she never directly guided fans to spread rumors. She only vaguely revealed things during conversations. It was the fans who were misled. When the incident was exposed, she immediately distanced herself. She never had much acting skill to begin with. Most of her fans liked her because of her seemingly cute personality. After this incident, those fans were so disheartened that they collectively unfollowed her. That major fan decided to smash the pot and reveal everything. They released the entire chat history with Lily. Among them was even Lily worrying about how to make Victoria break up with Paul first. The pure and innocent star of the entertainment industry turned into a pretentious coquette who knowingly became the third party. The endorsements she originally got thanks to Paul were all cancelled. For a time, Lily was scolded viciously. She was scolded by the entire internet until she withdrew from the industry. The entertainment industry is like this. One more person doesn't matter. One less person doesn't matter either. Especially for an artist without many achievements, having once enjoyed the spotlight. She was unwilling to fade from public view just like that. The topic of her depression stayed on the trending list for half a month. Trying to gain sympathy from netizens, the company tried to save her one more time, but on a charity reality show tailored for her, she messed up again because of her remarks. She tried to shift to an influencer path. Her youthful face was covered in thick foundation. With no personal characteristics at all, she was still scolded by netizens who remembered everything. No brands were willing to cooperate with her anymore. Over time, her popularity gradually faded. Chapter 29. I polished the film All Things Grow for 2 years. During the days without news, I focused on refining the characters' details. I had to make sure this film would become my comeback work. Fortunately, I succeeded. It caused a huge response on its premiere and became the first film in the past 7 years to surpass 10 billion at the box office in its first month. I won't deny that Noah also played a part in this. On the day the film was released, to celebrate my 35-year-old transformation work, Noah bought out 350,000 movie tickets online. He secured massive billboard advertising for me across dozens of city squares. While driving traffic for me, he also suppressed the remaining black material. Lily and Paul's film couldn't even reach a fraction of my box office. It was said that during that period, Paul couldn't immerse himself in his role. He frequently spaced out. He kept asking for leave during filming. As a result, the entire crew's schedule was severely delayed. It took 2 stumbling months to finish shooting. Its release date also clashed with the film I starred in. It flopped miserably. Paul's spirit seemed to dissipate overnight. What's the point of being a top star? Haha. When someone makes a move, it's tens of millions. What can your idol use to compete? Chapter 30. Standing on the award stage once again. I felt a little dazed. For me, this kind of scene seemed to have been gone for a long time. I'm very happy. The moment I spoke, tears filled my eyes. I'm very happy to stand here again and deliver my acceptance speech. First of all, I want to thank the director. Among so many candidates, he chose me. Secondly, I want to thank someone else, my lover and my friends. During these days, you have been by my side. You encouraged me and comforted me. My voice choked again. I raised my head, took a deep breath, and spoke again. Finally, the people I want to thank are my fans. Thank you for your companionship, for going through difficulties with me. Thank you for believing in me from beginning to end and proving it for me. Your love is so great that it brought me back to life. I didn't expect them to be this powerful. So powerful that I didn't even need to worry about these things. Thunderous applause erupted below the stage. Everyone was cheering. No one noticed a figure rushing onto the stage. Go die. You old woman. You're selfish and still want to blame our brother. You made our brother retire. It's all your fault. All your fault. Paul's obsessive fan believed I had betrayed him. As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly pulled out a bottle of unknown liquid from her arms. This series of actions happened almost in an instant. I immediately raised my hands to shield my face. But the pain I expected did not come. I only heard a muffled groan. I slowly opened my eyes. It was Paul. The liquid had been completely poured onto his back. The liquid corroded the fabric, making a sizzling sound. That girl could never have imagined that Paul would suddenly rush onto the stage. In an instant, the scene fell into chaos. My agent Susanna gave Paul a deep look and quickly pulled me off the stage. Across the crowd, I looked at him deeply. Brother, are you okay? After realizing what had happened, the obsessive fan froze. Immediately afterward, she was restrained by the security guards who rushed over. Chapter 31. In the hospital, Paul's entire back had been burned. I brought a fruit basket to visit him. His back was wrapped in thick bandages. He had lost a lot of weight, and his jawline looked sharper. When he saw me come in, his eyes lit up. Victoria, you came to see me. Does that mean we? No, Paul, we are really over. Don't you understand yet? I knew what he wanted to say, but considering he was a patient now, I sighed softly and didn't say anything harsh. I came to say that we're even now, no matter what. I thank you for blocking the injury for me. Seeing you one last time is to take back that glance from years ago. The day I fell for Paul was the day he saved me from obsessive fans. I am grateful to him. That will never change. But the fact that I no longer love him is also true. From now on, we go our separate ways and never see each other again. The force around my waist gradually loosened. Outside the hospital, a man was leaning against the car waiting. When he saw me come out, he opened his arms and welcomed me into his embrace. Extra, Paul POV. Chapter 1. 9 years ago at a party, the two of them were bound to a dating app because of Truth or Dare. Later, Victoria was stalked by obsessive fans, and the app happened to send him an alert. After that, they collaborated on a drama. Naturally, they got together. Victoria worked much harder than him. She also moved forward faster than him. He remembered the 3 years when she worked the hardest, filming with one crew in the morning, catching a flight to another crew at night, receiving 4 drips 12 times a year. Sometimes he couldn't even find her when he wanted to see her. The real distance between him and Victoria began 5 years ago, when the company boss was caught cheating. A piece of gossip spread in the group chat. A young actress had been caught entering a hotel room with a director. He wasn't interested in such things. He only glanced at it casually. His pupils suddenly shrank. Others couldn't recognize it, but he recognized at a glance that the blurry figure was Victoria. The photo was sharp and painful to his eyes. He realized he might never have truly understood her. Were fame and fortune really that important? Important enough to sacrifice herself? He was her boyfriend. Why did she never discuss anything with him? He asked her, Victoria, is there anything you want to tell me? Victoria, I'm giving you a chance. Explain it. As long as you explain, I'll believe you. At the time, she was reading a script. After a pause, she denied it. He sneered and slammed the door as he left, leaving the confused woman behind. But after that, good scripts began to circulate to him. He knew he was good-looking. Then came well-written characters. He quickly became famous with a modern romance drama. Almost every brand wanted him as an ambassador. His value rose rapidly, but Victoria moved behind the scenes. Their interactions became fewer and fewer. Occasionally, gossip accounts speculated they had broken up, but since they still wished each other happy birthdays, the rumors remained rumors. Yet he knew something was wrong between them. He always knew Victoria wanted to get married. He thought he wouldn't mind, but what happened 5 years ago became a thorn in his heart. Once suspicion appears, guilt becomes certain. When he shared a bed with Victoria, his mind would wander uncontrollably. Had she worn the same expression beneath someone else? Chapter 2. Later, Lily appeared. She resembled the Victoria from the beginning. No, she didn't have Victoria's stubbornness. She didn't have Victoria's diligence either. But it didn't matter. He had the ability to help her. Lily didn't need to endure industry rules for scripts. Most importantly, he felt needed by Lily. Later, the photo of Victoria waiting in front of the Civil Affairs Bureau trended. It was paparazzi hired by Lily, but he had silently allowed it. Victoria, why can't you lower your head just once? He thought he was ready, but Victoria left overnight for Ireland. She left him no room at all. He realized he had gone too far. Irritation filled his chest. He thought Victoria had gone to Ireland for business. Until he saw paparazzi photos. He thought he could apologize after she returned, but he didn't expect she had truly married. If it were anyone else, he could steal her back. But it was Noah, so he said harsh words, hoping she would give up. Why was the hotel incident never mentioned again? Someone suppressed it. The IP address belonged to Noah's family group. Victoria knew Noah? Later at a party, he learned they had neighboring classrooms. He finally admitted Noah had taken the opportunity. He regretted it, but it was too late. Now, the man beside her was someone who matched her perfectly.